Hello everybody, and just here, and welcome back to Shangri-La Frontier, episode 22, in which we will probably start the process of raising B, because that's what is necessary right now for the progression of the story. Well, one of the routes of progression, because Shangri-La doesn't just limit itself to one thing. There is like at least 5 storylines running in parallel that we can follow any which of them. In the previous episode, we finally had the time, and by we I mean Sanaraku, Pencil Gun, and Oikatsu finally had the time to meet up and talk about what just happened, talk to each other about their loot. Apparently everybody got the warehouse bracelet, and everybody's warehouse bracelet is filled with the same exosuits and stuff, and weapons for those exosuits. Problem is, they require energy source, an ancient reactor, and there is none to be found. Besides the one that Katsu got as a drop from Weathermon, or not Weathermon, from what was it called? Kelpie Kirin, the mount, Weathermon's mount. He got a reactor that is unfortunately busted. It doesn't work, and it needs an ancient craftsman to fix. Sanaraku has an idea how to fix it, because he knows a divine craftsman, no less, which is like at least a rank higher than ancient craftsman, that of course being Visage. Unfortunately, Atarabitu's Visage isn't there. Who is there though is B. Also a craftsman, not quite ancient, but still. Thing is, the ranking of your skill, of your trade, or whatever you want to call it, can be raised. And that includes NPCs. So, it's entirely possible for Sanraku to help B raise through the ranks of craftsmanship to the rank of an ancient craftsman, and perhaps even higher. So that's what we're gonna be doing right now. We're gonna be playing Bilak Maker in the vein of Princess Maker, and I'm assuming Sanaraku is going to be looking for special materials, ingredients, recipes, stuff like that to give to her so that she can craft them and raise through the ranks of craftsmanship so that she can fix the reactor, so that they can use it to run at least one exosuit, should it be necessary. Because I would assume in like a day-to-day gameplay it's not really needed, but should you face against one of the unique monsters perhaps, well, it would be nice to have support like that, wouldn't it? Yeah, that's gonna be made easier, that like sharing of the reactor and sharing of the whatchamacallit, of the exosuits, thanks to the fact that Sanraku, Pencil Gun, and Oikatsu created a guild, Wolfgang, and they are the only 3 members right now. I don't know if it's going to grow past that. Maybe, maybe not. I have my suspicions that perhaps Dragonfly would join. That would be interesting. I don't think Saiger would, because, I mean, she's in her sister's guild after all. But maybe. Who knows? Remains to be seen, of course. And what else? Oh, and Pencil Gun explained a little bit of an exploit, how to protect certain items from being dropped when you are a PKer and you are defeated. She hid some precious elements. She gave some precious items to the scales, and because the scales don't belong to her, they didn't drop. They weren't like sold or transferred. She also gave them to Sanaraku, so they didn't drop on the ground. And that's the brooch and something else. Can't remember what, but the brooch she got from Setsuna's brooch. Essentially, it was safe. It remained safe, and that's what matters, right? So now everybody went their own way. Sanaraku, as I mentioned, went to Rabituza to try to fix the reactor. Pencilgon went to give back the scales. And Oikatsu went on to raise his levels. Because, yeah, he lost them thanks to that thing that he got from Pencilgon during the fight. Anything else that happened of import? No, we got some insight into Oikatsu. And that's basically it. So we'll see where today's episode goes. I would assume it will continue more or less from where we left off, and Sanaraku will try to raise B in some way. I'm not sure how's that gonna work, what's he gonna do exactly, but he's gonna do something, alright? And we will see what that something is. No doubt. There we go. So, well, I guess we can just start watching it, right? And to do it, you will need your subs to follow along with me. I'm gonna need my sound to hear what's going on in the show. And I'm gonna have to ask you for support. Support the channel if you want monetarily on Patreon or YouTube down below, or not share my content, spread the word, it costs you nothing and helps a lot. And with that, we can start watching episode 22 of Shangri-La Frontier in 3, 2, 1, go. And we're getting the intro still. We still haven't explored the new update, besides the rebalanced one of Sanaraku's skills. And I wonder if the fact that they sequence broke the unique monsters will warrant another update to the game. See, this is interesting to me. There's the 4 of them. So I wonder if Saiger is actually going to join Wolfgang. Because usually when you show like multiple people besides each other, they belong to one group. But we haven't seen that much of Saiger, did we? She's not like a heavily recurring character. I don't think we've seen Sanraku fight ghosts with a sword either. And he does have a sword now. Danger, danger. And we haven't seen her, whoever she is. Oh, is she like the leader of the lore fanatic guild? Maybe. Raising indeed. The walking air purifier? What do you mean? What's that title? Yeah, we make an ancient craftsman. Thank you for the recap. It's entirely unnecessary, but thank you. So how do we do it? Exactly. I guess you never played any visual novels and stuff. Hmm. Where do you procure such a weapon? Magic Operation Unit? Mm-hmm. I'm glad he understood it. Are they perhaps inside of the warehouse? Yeah, the weapon is covered. Just grab something from the warehouse. Something you wouldn't use, like, I know, a double-handed hammer or something. Probably not your kind of a weapon. Oh, katana. Easy. Her hands are huge, by the way. Okay, so egg and chicken. Okay, so we can break it and learn. 2 stools. She likes weapons. Maybe not with a hammer. Huh? Doesn't everybody get a unique one? Or do you share the same inventoria? Okay, it's shared. Interesting. Also, it means that they can meet up wherever they are. They can just enter their inventoria. Right? Oh, that has some interesting implications and gives them some interesting possibilities. Copy it. Forfolkshire. Okay. To Fifthia. Atold. Okay, we're bypassing quite a few. You would probably need a mount. Oh, yeah, that's... Yeah, we need this to get the Weatherman skills. No, that's the quest from Visage. Right. Okay, so 2 birds with 1 stone, potentially. Oh, you coming with? Nice, we get another follower. But I can wear human armor. I can show my tits. Oh, combiner unit? Yeah. Bilak's gonna be the... Oh, yeah, combiner, but not with... Yeah. Barbarian armor. It would probably be better if we just stuffed them into the inventoria. I love those silly bunnies. They're great. Hmm. And there's a lot of zombies and ghouls and stuff. CG NPCs. I noticed that. I think. Yeah, that guard there moved like a CG would. That's a nice city. Alas, we have no clerics among our midst. I mean, not like health matters much for Sanaraku. He just doesn't get hit. Easy. I guess B and Emul are no longer... Yeah. They split off. Big gauntlets. Item? Huh, okay. Interesting. Monsters. Monster. CG monster. That's a first for this show. No, sorry, there were CG beasts. There absolutely were CG monsters. Mark of Lycagon. Run away. Yep. Apparently. Right. It is the effect. Yeah, everything's running away. Sasuga Sanraku-san. Brawler? Monk? Okay, something is high level enough. Headless Horseman. I mean, yeah, he does not have a head. Neither does the horse, interestingly. Dullahan General, okay. Yeah, you said so yourself. He doesn't have a head. Okay, we're gonna see B in combat. Of course, she uses a hammer. How easy is that Dullahan gonna be? What do you mean, ignition? One of your skills? Yeah, maybe like leave Emul away. She's not a close combatant. Or at least equal, yeah. Probably because it ultimately isn't all that strong. Or that, yes. That would actually make sense. You survived Weathermon and defeated him, so what's a Dullahan? General or not? Look how slow he moves, right? He doesn't even chain his attacks all that much. At all, actually. Okay, surprisingly easy. Holy water on the hammer, and... And... Strike! Music on point, as always. I love that she always puts on the monocle whenever she turns into combat mode. That's not a leap, that's flight. Also, wouldn't hurt if B were to get a couple more levels, right? Okay, so ignition is a skill of some sort. Which does what exactly? I mean, maybe, but it's funny. Just wrist-mounted rabbit blaster. Yes. Fire-based attack. The fire of the forge. And they combined. That was a nice little fight. The Rabbit Blaster is amazing. Was it enough? It was. Okay. Any materials? Any good loot? A sword. Could be fixed up. Maybe even B can fix it up right now. Mm-hmm. Of course she can fix it up. I mean, yes. I mean, you were a competent warrior, so... Very competent, actually. Level 90 fucking 8. Holy shit. So if you were to just stay in first tier, like banging away at iron daggers, you would also be able to level up? You spent too much time with him, yeah. Is that where we see the scene from the opening, Sanraku fighting Wraiths with a sword? Yeah, just rocks and empty. Something tells me it ain't gonna be that easy for much longer, yeah. That's the boss, I'm willing to bet. Nice little episode. Hard to believe it was 22 minutes, honestly. Interesting how often it happens, or I guess it might be just, whatchamacallit? Just some sort of a bias in understanding or whatever. But interesting how often it happens that when I watch two shows, one after another, right? An episode of one show and then an episode of another show, I can see so many parallels between them, or some parallels at least. Before Shangri-La, I watched the new episode of Sasaki to Pichan, and it was also an episode focused on just one single thing, and I also didn't notice the passage of time. And in this case, it's also an episode based on one single thing, and I also didn't notice the passage of time. Maybe it happens because I noticed that about Sasaki to Pichan, so I tried subconsciously to notice it here as well. I don't know. Funny coincidence, I guess. And what's the meanie? I reincarnated into a trash game. Oh, a nightmare? Oh no, it's her! No, she doesn't have animations. There was no budget. No lip flaps even. Yeah. And it's not even an online game. I love this show. I really do. I'm gonna be so sad when it ends. I'm just gonna be desperately waiting for season 2. Let's watch this one again though to stay a little bit longer with this episode. Intro opening. That was a little bit too far. And a recap. I'm really glad that B is joining us. She's fun to have around. And it's fun to have someone else around. Right? Like the relationship of Sanraku and Emul got so normalized that it's fun to have. How do I put it? Like Emul used to be the straight man to Sanraku, but she just kind of got dragged into his zone. So now we need a new straight man, and that would be Bilak right now. And again, holy shit, her hands are huge. Yeah, what exactly does it mean to cultivate her? No idea. 2 things. Divinity, a remnant from Divinity, a legacy weapon, which is easy because there are plenty of them inside, and a magic operation unit. I'm actually surprised, positively, that Sanraku just got it. Magic operations unit, yeah, of course. Very often you see something like that happen, right? Someone misspell something, and then for like 5 episodes, we have characters going around the place looking for a magic operations unit, and they can't find it anywhere, and then it turns out that someone just fucking misspoke, or misread the name of it, or something like that, and it's just the stupidest thing ever. I'm glad it's not the case here. We're not doing the like comedy of misunderstandings, and I'm so incredibly glad because comedy of misunderstandings is my like least liked trope. I fucking hate comedy of misunderstandings. Comedy of embarrassment though, that's cute. Bilak is great. As they say, I ain't furry, but a legacy weapon? Yeah, sure, it's not gonna be easy to find. Absolutely not. I just have like 50 of them in my storage unit. Let me grab one right quick. I'm betting it won't gain working status. Yeah, so chicken and egg. You won't make it working without the reactor, and you won't make the reactor working without the weapon being dismantled. It's so I can learn techniques from the divinity. I love the detail that she has to bring like a second stool for her. for herself, and this face is something. She really likes weapons, doesn't she? And yeah, this is the kind of weapon that you would probably strip away with like a screwdriver and an iFixit kit for like prying open the glued together surfaces and whatnot, rather than just smacking it with a hammer. It's probably way too delicate. The LEDs in the guard would just be destroyed. And yeah, interesting that Inventoria is a space shared between them. I fully expected everybody to get their own, but no. And as I said, it has some interesting implications. One, assuming there are no duplicate items inside, they can't like all use the same exosuit. For example, there's an exosuit that's made for underwater combat and there's only one of them. They can't equip them all, right? Like all three of them cannot equip it and go find Atlantis underwater because there's only one that's shared between them. That's the very interesting implication. Another is that they can enter it together. So wherever they are around the world, this is the spot they can get to quickly, instantly, and all together, wherever they are, and nobody else has any way to enter it. I was wondering in a previous episode what would be their hideout as a guild, because they would need a hideout to discuss confidential things, like this whole thing that other players probably have no clue about, to discuss the Rabituza quest, to discuss their plans for the next unique monster, etc, etc, etc. This is the place. This is the perfect hideout. They can also put their stuff here, right? They can have their guild stash here and nobody will have access to it, and each of them will, from wherever they are. It beats any guild hideout possible. I mean, I don't know if you can furnish it. I don't know if there's like open space in here or just this straight corridor, but, right? It still beats having to go to the guild house every time you need to withdraw something from the guild bank. Interesting how will they use this space. I just noticed something. She has Popeye arms, right? Really thin here, really thick here. Yeah, just Popeye arms, and I cannot unsee that. And she stubbornly calls it Magic Operation Unit. She's stubborn. I love her. I love Bee. The bunnies in general are great. I love all the bunnies here. I would be spending all my time in a Rabituza if I were playing Shangri-La Frontier, honestly. Ruins of Past Glories. Departing at Third Rima, Prismatic Forest Grotto, through the Canyon of Ancient Souls to the 8th City 8th Hold. Right, Forfolkshire 8th Hold. That seems like a very roundabout way towards Eleventar. Right, like you can just cut straight through here, so no need to go through Forfolkshire and 8th Hold if you can just go through here. And that's where we're going through. Because that's also the Lightless Barrens that will get us to, I assume this is Eleventia, whatever, the 11th city, or maybe 12th, yeah, or something like that. Lightless Barrens, indeed. That's what Vash needs from you. That's where he needs you to go. Yeah, two birds with one stone. Got a pack for the trip. Yeah, nice to see someone else come with. She cannot transform into a human. She can take off her binder, though. Again, I ain't furry, but... That's a lot of fluff. I guess she uses a binder not to flatten her chest, because she doesn't have a chest. She doesn't have boobs. She uses the binder to flatten her fluff, which is great, honestly. Imagine a character being so fluffy that they need to use a binder to contain it. I fully expected there to be a combiner like fucking Power Rangers Megazord style, but I expected Emul to turn into a human, sit down on Bilak's back, and essentially like two bunnies in a trench coat, with one of them having a human face. But no, instead of that, they're just combining with Sanaraku. A fur coat and a scarf. And look how happy they are with that solution. Some amazing faces from them. Respawn point. Poor Bilak being used as a pillow. This is great. Some good old pixel art style to Fulfrogshire. Lots of undead. Right. That's a nice city. And yeah, those people in the background are CG. Absolutely. Do they move on ones or twos? I think on twos. On threes even. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, including Sanaraku. So yeah, the frame rate matches, but the... I guess the colors are off. The outlines, the line work in general is a little bit too thick. It looks like a shader. And the formation of the clothes maybe tipped me off. Maybe the details. Like, I don't think individual fingers would be drawn if these characters were really this far away and actually drawn. And there wouldn't be as much detail in the creases in their clothing. Maybe. Just to be clear, it's not like a dig at Shangri-La for using CG, absolutely not. I just, often when I see CG in a show and it's not obvious to me why I believe it's CG, I like to take a look and try to figure out what tipped me off, right? Why do I get the weird feeling that it's actually CG? And the guard in the background is moving on 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, on threes. I don't know what tipped me off about the guard. Maybe the like robotic walk cycle. Maybe. I know, I'm not sure. Whatever, it doesn't matter. Fulfrogshire. That's a really pretty looking city of just towery buildings. I like it. I really like the architecture of this city. We need a cleric or holy items to fend off the miasma. Holy water. I really like the archetype of characters having big gauntlets. I like big gauntlets. Like, no other armor, no other weapons, just two big gauntlets. I like B is raising in my like popularity ranking with every time she appears on the screen, honestly. Yeah, very lifeless place. Aura of clean air. Apparently a stronger curse nullifies the weaker one. Interesting. Interesting. It means that Sanraku is essentially invulnerable to any curses weaker than that of the Lycagon, and the Lycagon curse is pretty damn strong, I would assume. The curse really proves to be of mostly benefit to him, doesn't it? Even the wyvern zombies running away. This is also clear CG. Although the smoke around the teeth is done really well to blend in with it. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Animated on twos, so it's not animation rate. Very often when something is CG, it's animated on ones for whatever godforsaken reason. Or in general, the frame rate differs from the frame rate of the rest of the show. I guess the shadows and the animation makes it kind of obvious that it's CG. I know, I'm not sure. Again, doesn't matter, we don't even fight it. It just runs away because of the Lycagon mark. I almost forgot about this effect of the mark of Lycagon. Yeah, a little bit overpowered. And B also wants to fight, of course. Of course, she's hot-headed like that, and I wouldn't have it any other way. And the fight. Of course, she uses a hammer. I was hoping she's just gonna do this and take a stance and just be a brawler. I love brawlers in anime, in games, in everything. Hammer is fine too. I mean, for a blacksmith, hammer is the perfect weapon. And I love those little moments showing just how close Sanraku and Emul have become. I really do. I really do love those moments. Nice little fight. Although, yeah, I would probably leave Emul behind just to, you know, not risk, because we know that when NPCs die when they are killed, as someone smart once said. So I probably wouldn't risk her. Then again, Sanraku has a lot of speed, so he probably can avoid getting hit. And can avoid Emul getting hit as well. Somehow I don't feel threatened at all. Yeah, I mean, you fought Weathermon, and you won. So anything less than a Weathermon will not really be scary anymore. Like, look at him. Look how slowly he moves. Look how slow his attacks are. He attacked like, what, twice? Weathermon would have already called the Wrath of the Sky 17 times in this time span. So what even is that? It's nothing. It's nothing, really. Version 3. Dismount and strike. There it goes. I don't know baseball terms. If I knew baseball terms, I would probably have made some better joke than strike. But strike is like the only baseball term I know, and I don't even know what it means. So I'm gonna use that. And also she struck him with a hammer, so it also works in that regard. Impressive as ever. This is great. I really love this detail about Emul. She goes into combat mode, puts on her monocle, and it's fully animated. The animation of putting it on her eye. Great detail. Yeah. Combat mode Emul. A trash gamer needs to know when to do it, indeed. Ignition. This is also great. A bunny blaster. Really missed opportunity to call it bunny blaster. Rabbit gun, sure, I mean, she is a rabbit and it is kind of a gun, but I mean, bunny blaster, right? Alliteration. Missed opportunity, honestly. It's still great though. I love it. I love how much fun Sanraku is having fighting. Like, he didn't have to do this. He really didn't. Emul could have sat on his shoulder or on his head or stood beside him and cast that magic and it would have worked. But no, he wanted to have some fun. So he wanted a wrist-mounted gun, so he slapped Emul on and just created the bunny blaster just for fun. No other purpose. And I love it. And Titan Smash, Titan Blast. There we go. Nice face. And done. That was a big boom. Dullahan General's Decapitator. A little bit of lore about it. And yeah, you forgot that you have a blacksmith with you. She could probably do some field repairs if they are needed. She could probably save weapons like that. You would have sold it, but she might make something nice out of it, especially after she raises to the rank of an ancient craftsman, right? She might make a new weapon for you, cut this blade in two, and make it into dual daggers, for example, or make it into a proper sword for you to use with Weathermon abilities that you might gain by traversing this area and finding the items that Visage requested. Yeah, you're a blacksmith and all. Very high stats. Big pants, big gauntlets. It's like peak character design. Oh, interesting that she has a subclass of archaeologist. She has no combat class. Unless craftsman is a combat class, or smith is a combat class in and of itself. I fully expected everybody to need like one combat class and one I guess job or support class, right? Warrior and blacksmith, monk and archaeologist, mage and cook. For example, that's usually how it is in MMOs, in games in general. But apparently you can be a craftsman and an archaeologist, so essentially two non-combat roles. Interesting. Also, really high stats on her. Level 98. And all of that thanks to smithing. So maybe Sanraku could pick up smithing. He still doesn't have a job, does he? I wonder if he picks one. And what's it gonna be? I'm willing to bet that he will pick a job sooner or later. But I wonder what could it be? What jobs are even available? Blacksmith would be like an obvious choice. But then he has a divine craftsman and soon enough an ancient craftsman at his, well, not beck and call, but he has free access to them, so he doesn't need to be a blacksmith himself. I wonder. I'm not sure what, like, non-combat class, what job would complement his combat style and just gameplay style well. We'll see. If you sucked me in the face, you'd probably break my neck. Yeah, honestly, probably. Silence is golden. And yeah, his influence on Emil is tangible. Seems way more simple. Right. Famous last words. Easy peasy. Famous last words. You're gonna have to fight a CG Scorpion. Also, as a side note, I find it really interesting that monsters that are somewhere in the background and like inconsequential because they're just running away or whatever, or flying around, they're CG. But monsters that they fight, monsters that actually matter, they're not. Cool, that's how you do it. If something doesn't matter, feel free to use CG for it. If something does matter, please don't. Please give us quality. And this show does exactly that. His like worst nightmare, being awoken by her, by Feria, couldn't have gotten any worse, could it? Not even standing in an A pose or a T pose, just statically. No movement whatsoever. Yeah, Isekai in a buggy game. That's great that he sees it even in his dreams, and of course, no understanding from his peers. Who would understand the mind of a trash gamer, really? Great. Great. Oh boy. Really good episode. I really enjoyed myself. I wanted to take like one thing that I liked the most about this episode, but I don't think I can. I really enjoy everything about Shangri-La Frontier in general, and this episode was no exception. We got some really nice, really cool, really imaginative fight. We got B, who is slowly becoming one of my favorite characters, and And there was a sneeze, and now there is no more a sneeze. That's the worst feeling ever. Ah, yeah. Right. What was I talking about? Yeah, good fight. First and foremost. But it wasn't the focus of this episode, and I appreciate it because too much fighting, that would also be like, you know, we had enough fighting with the Weathermon arc for a while. So now if they fight the big bad boss and it takes them like half an episode, that would be perfect. If it's another multi-episode fight, I'd rather not, to be honest. But this episode really was great because of B. Honestly, I really like her as a character. I really enjoy her design, and I really like that we essentially get another straight man in the group because for a while there wasn't any. Everybody was just as crazy as Sanraku, if not more. Like, sure, there was some banter, but there wasn't, there wasn't something like what Sanraku and Emul had early on, with Emul's complete lack of understanding to how Sanraku works, how he's built, his kit, whatever works, how he does things. And now Emul is kinda on his side, kinda took something from him, like a lot of her personality traits and behavior and whatnot. So now we get another straight man, and that's B, and it's great. Some really nice banter, some really nice fun with the characters. Cool story. That it's really cool that we can like kill two birds with one stone. That Sanraku potentially could along the way learn one of the skills of Weathermon, which would be great, which would be really cool. I wonder if he can like learn only one of them or one of them at a time. No, what am I talking about? I don't know, I somehow got it into my head that the area he's going to has the machinery that allows him to learn a Weathermon skill. No! The area he's going to has the things that Vash requested. Yeah, that's one of the goals that we can achieve during this trip. Get the things for Vash, the Delta thingamajigs. And another thing we can achieve, of course, is getting the magic whatever unit that B needs. Right, those are the two birds that we can kill with one trip. Right. It's still cool. It's still very cool that we can do those two things at the same time. I mentioned it a couple of times already, I guess, that Shangri-La is really cool because it doesn't just, how do I say it? Doesn't just tunnel vision itself into one single direction, right? It's not like, oh, we got a quest from Vash, so we go do the quest from Vash, and that's it. That's all we do. And then it's time to fix the reactor, so we focus entirely on the reactor. And then there's the arc of looking for the machine that would allow him to use Weathermon spells, and it's just that. No, it all intertwines, it all connects, it all splits and separates and goes every which way, and I really like it. I really enjoy it because that's how you would play a game, right? If you have multiple quests in the same direction, well, might as well complete all of them and then go back to the city and return all of them. Instead of going for a quest, coming back, going for another, coming back, going for another, coming back, right? That's how you play the game. And it proves, again, that the creator of this show, the creator of this story, really understands gaming. It's been proven time and again, but this is yet another proof. The fact that Sanraku can have fun and wants to have fun with silly things like a bunny blaster, and the fact that if multiple quests can be fulfilled in a single trip, well, let's. Why not? It's efficient, and we get more rewards at the same time, right? It's cool. I really, really enjoyed this episode. I really like the bunnies. Initially, when Rabituza was introduced, I wasn't sold on the idea. I really thought that Emul would be just a mascot character, and I hate mascot characters. I thought that Rabituza would be just whatchamacallit, just comic relief essentially, right? There's a serious game where we go and fight the monsters and whatnot, and oh, there's a land of rabbits, and whoa, it's fun, it's funny, and there's a contrast, it's funny contrast, but no, Rabituza is a nice place, it's a good area, it has some amazing characters in it, and everybody is their own character. There's no mascots here. Everybody is like fully fledged character in the story, and it's great. It's great. I'm glad I was wrong about Rabituza and the bunnies. I really am glad about that, because they've grown to be one of my favorite characters, honestly. Vash is great, Bee is great, Emil is great, the shifty trader sister, what's her name? Elke is great. It's great. It's great. I really like it. I really like Shangri-La Frontier. I really like Rabituza. I just want more. Please, second season. Please, I beg of you, second season. Also 20-something episodes. I beg of you. Please. I want nothing more for Christmas. Just give me a second season of this. And Frieren. And I would be happy. Second season of this and Frieren. I want nothing more. Yeah. Amazing show. I'm having so much fun every single week with it, and this week was no exception. And I hope you guys also had a lot of fun with it, just as much as I did, if not more. Tell me all about it in the comments below. What did you think of this episode, my reaction, my theories, stuff like that? And no spoilers from the manga, please, or light novel. You can talk about them on the Discord, here also in the description. Like this video if you liked it, subscribe to be notified of future videos, not only Shangri-La, but also Frieren, Majo Toyaju, Metallic Rouge, plenty others coming in the future. Click the bell to be notified of when I go live, because I do sometimes support the channel if you want monetarily on Patreon or YouTube down below. On Patreon for $10 you get early access to non-seasonal shows. For $5 you get to decide what those non-seasonal shows are. There's a poll running right now. And for just $1 you get a role on the Discord and a place in the credits. You can also support me directly on YouTube via memberships, super thanks, super chats, stuff like that. And if you don't want to spend any money whatsoever, you don't have to. Share my content, spread the word, it costs you absolutely nothing and helps the channel a lot. And now, with all of that out of the way, that's gonna be it from me for today. So as always, you guys do all the good stuff, and I'm gonna see you in the next one. Cheers! And here's my wonderful Patreons: QB, Without a Net, Survivor, Zayrainer, Michael Spaulding, Marcos, and Dr. Watt, Akamancer, Marshika, Alafazal, and Hans Peter. And you can join them as well without having to use a bunny blaster or become one.